4:30 in the morning. A time which a year ago I would have called you crazy if you said you got up at that time. Now, I cherish it. I relish it. 4:30 a.m. The early morning. A time of silence, a time of solitude, and a time of focus. And it is the ultimate everyday test of discipline, will, and endurance. I choose to work out first thing in the morning because it is the time of the day when excuses are as rare as strawberries in March. And I know that if I do not get up and show up, there's not even the remote possibility to blame anyone else than myself. And from then on, whatever happens during the next 14 hours of the day will happen on the foundation of having won the first battles of the morning. And once these battles are won, the sun will rise and the journey to the evening commences. Few things on the schedule today. The topic around which the vlog evolves today is early mornings, which is where you just saw the monologue before, and we have a dinner planned for the evening. That's why I have to go to the supermarket right now, and before the dinner we're gonna go check out the local church. I've agreed to do that with some friends, and I've always wanted to do that again. I haven't been to church in years, and yeah, it's, as you can probably see, it's a beautiful, beautiful day in Finland. The snow has gotten full hold of the city again, and we will be going to this market right now, and then we'll talk about all things early morning and why I'm doing it, why I think everyone else should do it too, at least try it out. Then just get the day started, and we have to talk about the podcast too. So I've probably tried to contact half the people I know and ask them if they wanted to go to the S market with me, but apparently all of them are still sleeping, even though it's already 10:15. So yeah, looks like I'm doing it alone. But I think, if you record these vlogs and everything, most of the time, even though it's like my vlog, the conversations you have when you're working together and when you stare into a camera are so different than when you talk to each other off camera. And so I love to observe these changes and talk about it. And yeah, but looks like we're out of luck, and we have to do it alone, or I have to do it alone. Well, but whatever. Still, I'm gonna do it now and just get the stuff that we need. Now, so the question that I get asked the most is why would you do that? Why would you why would you get up at 4:30 in the morning? Isn't it too early? Aren't you still exhausted? Aren't you unwilling to do this? Don't you lack motivation? And the answer to all of these things is probably yes. But I don't see life in a way, especially since I've been here in Finland right now, in a way that I have to somehow be on a vacation. Let me tell you a little story. I've been doing this roughly for almost a year now, and in March 2018, I was shortly before doing my midterm oral exam in my main degree, which is rhetoric, and I was simply pressed for time. I was very nervous. I prepared for this thing for 2 months in a row, continuously every day, studying every day, and I still somehow felt like I wasn't doing enough. And so I was looking for remaining hours in the day that I was basically wasting. And so it turns out that from what I've found for myself, is that most of the hours I'm wasting was in the evening, because there's so many distractions that come in the evening. People messaging you to come out, and I simply still didn't feel ready to take this oral exam. So I was about to either make a sacrifice or just go with whatever grade I get. And I knew that I wouldn't be satisfied with anything that goes below an A, because I was studying for this so long that I just wanted to make this count for myself. I decided to delete and to erase the remaining 2-3 hours of the night I was usually wasting, that usually ranged from 8 to 11 or 8 to 12, and therefore get up a bit earlier and thus putting maximum productivity in these early hours. So how this looked like for me is then I went to bed at 9, and I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, which was quite the stressful thing at the beginning, because your body is not used to that at all. You have to get used to every habit, and it takes some time to get used to habit for habit for habit. But if you get used to it, then it feels incredibly fulfilling, because what you've actually noticed is that in the morning, there is no notifications distracting you. There's no one calling you in the morning saying, hey, let's hang out, because everybody else, 99% of all the people around the world, are still fast asleep. And that for me was the main indicator as to why I wanted to stay getting up early, because there was no distraction, there was no reason for me whatsoever to procrastinate and to do whatever I want. And with me being a person who's been afflicted by ADHD their whole life, any single little door frame that you can go through towards avoiding the uncomfortable thing is very likely to be used by me. So I had to kind of trick my brain and myself into having as little distractions as possible, so I can really focus on the things that are important to me and that I know I have to do. Because there's definitely a difference between what you want to do and what is good for you to do, what you need to do. And at that time, what I needed to do, what was important for me to do, was to study. And I had to do it. And I did it, and I kept studying with this 4:30 in the morning, getting up early habit, and I ended up crushing this exam with an A+. And that, for me, was the correct indicator that I should keep pursuing this level of schedule, this level of routine. I did the same thing. I remained the same thing. I constantly kept doing that as long as I was alone and living alone at home. And this happened when I did my final bachelor's exam in I think it was August. And I did the same thing. I got a incredible grade for that again. And I crushed that exam too. And so more and more it has been confirmed for me that this is the right thing for me to do. Now, of course, the main challenge that you have is, and when you wake up at 4:30 in the morning, you have to have something to do. This tradition is not something that I've invented. It's been as old as time. George Washington, Immanuel Kant, Cicero, Caesar, all of these people, Abraham Lincoln especially, they had the most productive hours in the morning, even before 12. The philosopher Immanuel Kant would be known as one of the forebearers of Enlightenment philosophy, the modern way of thinking. Would get up at like 4 or 4:30 in the morning, would do all his work before 8 in the morning, before would give his lectures at the university, and then at 12 be completely done with his day and being able to focus on his studies. It's about prioritizing. If you are able to get up that early, you are able to focus on the things that really, really matter to you. And what really mattered to me was a success at university back then. What really matters to me now is filming these vlogs, telling my story, editing the podcast, do whatever I want, do whatever I need to do, whatever is necessary to do in the morning, so I can get a head start of the day and feel like when I look back on the day at usually 2 or 3 p.m. I kind of do a self-evaluation of the day I've had so far, and I won't feel like an idiot. Waking up early is both a way of maintaining my daily discipline and finding a way to be content with my day, but also finding a way to employ order in this whole chaos that is every day. Because there's thoughts and distractions flowing through my mind all day long, and they'll never stop. But if I'm able to embrace a certain order that I've employed throughout the day, which is the 4:30 to 7 a.m. span, or 4:30 to 8 a.m. span, then it's something that I can rely on. Something that I can be proud of, and something that I can look back at the end of the day and say, hey, that was at least, if there's something goes wrong, that was at least something that was good about this day. Something that I was in control of. And thus this confidence, this self-reliance, and this ability to maintain the discipline catapults me personally to have a better day every time I keep up that habit. Of course, there's a case to be made to say, hey, this is too early, this doesn't fit my schedule. That's fine. I'm not demanding from anyone to do it. I'm not forcefully progressing anyone into that direction. But I would recommend you, who's watching this right now, to at least give it 2 or 3 tries. Just get up at 4:30 in the morning today and go for a run, go for a walk, work out, do something that you find meaningful, and see how you feel. Because from what I've realized here from many people who study with me is that the only answer they can give me once they have gotten out of bed and they're at university, the only answer to the question, how are you, is often, yeah, I'm tired. Feeling of tiredness and of I think spiritual agony doesn't necessarily refer to the physical state, but more to the mental state. And I do genuinely believe that if you don't have a routine like that, you better get one going. Because I think you can't feel content or happy without having some sort of a routine to stick to. As much as people want to deny the fact, I genuinely believe that order and structure is the way that you can bring into your life that will make you 100 times more able to combat anything that you will encounter throughout the day. And I've been trying to tell this to many people who are asking me, like, how do you do it? How do you do this? How do you do that? There is no correct answer to this, because it's individual. It goes from person to person to person to person. For everyone, there's a different reason to get up in the morning. But I would want everyone to at least try to look for one, because many people wake up without a reason, without a purpose. And of course I wouldn't want to wake up then. If I don't have any reason to get up in the morning, what's the point of waking up? There's none. There's no point whatsoever to get up in the morning if you don't have anything that you want to do. Anything that you feel like this day is calling you or striving towards the horizon for. And that's why it's so important for me that I give the advice to everyone: if you want to kind of get control of your life, or kind of rearm yourself with the necessary tools to get control of your life, the very first thing is get a routine going. Whether you wake up at 4:30 in the morning, whether you wake up at 7 in the morning, whether you wake up at 6 in the morning, at 8, at 10, whatever it is, routine is the keyword for me towards employing a good structure. And routine is the keyword for me. 4:30 is the keyword, is the alias for me towards putting some order into the chaos of every day. And that will do a lot more for you than you might think it will. All I'm saying is, try it out, see how you feel, and then let me know down in the comments how it helped you. Whether it helped you or not. Some people just live in 100% of chaos, and that's okay, if that's what makes them happy. You know, my parenthesis is always, if you're happy, then I have nothing to say. If you're happy, if you genuinely are happy with yourself, whatever you do, then it's the best thing that I want for you, the best thing that can happen to you. But so many people think they're happy, while at the same time in the morning they don't really have a reason to get up, and they don't really have a purpose to move forward and to manifest their own destinies and desires into the world, like this and this and this. And that brings me to a point when I ask myself, hey, you know, there's so many things. I think I talked about it in the 30th episode of the podcast, when I talked about, I don't have it right here, when I talked about Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. We always have one last freedom, a final freedom that no one can ever take from us. And it's the freedom to decide how we react to any set of given circumstances that life forces upon us. Life, we don't get the answer from life what the meaning of life for our life is. It's our continual search from step to step for a new purpose, for our purpose, that will make us feel fulfilled, that will fulfill our life with meaning. So my point with telling you the story about early mornings, about discipline, about meaning and purpose is that all these values, all these things that you value in a person, all these things that other people will value in you or in me, they are all interrelated to your daily habits. So the decisions you make, whether you wake up early or whether you wake up late, whether you have a routine, whether you have none, they all will permeate and transfer towards every single little habit that transfers throughout the day. And you can observe this, but everything you do will have a different impact on your actions and on your outcomes. Because once you get up late, you will be pressed for time, you will be late, you will forget things, you will miss appointments, you will be late, and you will end up at the day being frustrated of not having achieved anything meaningful. That was at least my experience with it. I feel like I'd rather have more time during the day and at some point have nothing to do anymore, or have too little to do because I've already done all the things that I'm supposed to do, than not having done enough of the things that I was actually supposed to do, versus having not done enough things because I didn't have the time to do them. We don't really find the time for ourselves anymore. And I feel like being able to get up early and prioritize those kind of daily habits that are uncomfortable arm you with the necessary time to be on your own. And nowadays, where people rush from relationship to relationships, where people rush from social events just to not be alone because they fear being lonely. And to be able to combat this fear of being lonely, you have to be able to disconnect and distance yourself from all the physical and social contact. And then, only then, I believe, can you develop a set of values that both benefits you in good situations and also benefits you in bad situations. And they serve as your shield and your sword whenever the chaos of the day hits you. So what I would tell you is that it's not so much about waking up early. That's a general tool that I would recommend to everyone. That's a very good tool, but it's not the core essence of the issue. The essence of the issue is to be able to spend time alone. I do that by getting up early and thus forcing myself to deal with the angst and the fears that I have. And that's what, for me, made the difference between being someone who gets things done and someone who always runs from everything. Because like I said, every decision you make now, the next hour and the next second, the next minute, every single decision you make, whether you do it in a truthful way or in a way that's permeated by lies, however you do it, it will always cause a ripple effect that will carry on towards your next decision, the next situation, the next situation, the next situation. Whether you want to believe that or not, but that's just the way life works. What you decide today will be the consequences you will have to deal with tomorrow. And that, for me, is the driving factor why getting up in the early hours of the morning, getting up at 4:30 a.m. is so crucial. For me, to express my personal freedom and to express myself in this world and to figure my way out on my own without being dependent on any external driving factors. It's round 2 of the supermarket, and guess who's with me? It's not Javier, it's Leah making her debut in the vlog. How are you?
Sick. That's my excuse for looking like this.
For looking so beautiful? I don't think so. The last time I was sick was like about a year ago. Oh, shock.
Wait, are you sure?
Yes. Why?
Because we talked about getting sick while we're here, you know, when I had a cold the first time.
Yeah.
And didn't you say you got a cold too?
No.
While you were here?
Well, I don't really consider a cold being sick.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather say, you know, if you have a real fever and you look just tied to the bed and then just be sick, you know? Leah wants to pursue a system with her grocery list. The first thing she needs to get, a toothbrush. Yeah, because according to her, if you want to be healthy, buy toothbrushes.
I should have been a dentist.
Perhaps you should.
Maybe it's not too late.
It's group psychology.
Dentists make more money.
And it looks like you have some evolutionary knowledge or biological inherited knowledge in what considering dentistry. What else do we need? Juice?
Second thing.
Okay, second thing you need to get with that juice.
Orange juice.
Orange juice? Are you sure?
That's what my mom taught me. I don't know.
Okay, doctor.
Is there a word for daughter of doctor? I don't know.
Dr. Junior. Junior doctor.
That's me. Okay.
What are you doing? Are you serious?
I'm trying to
Tell me your secrets, orange juice. Tell me your secrets. Yeah, looks good. Oh, there's also more over there, I think. Over there. Right there. I think it's this one.
Maybe this one. That's less expensive here.
Yeah. This one.
I think this is met fruit.
Yeah, that's true.
You see?
Yeah, Swedish. With fruit cells. There you go. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so
You
I'm
got
gonna
it,
check this
girl.
out, although it's much more expensive. Health as well.
Exactly. Health is wealth. Dr. Junior Leah Dentist,
Do you
2019.
know that saying?
Nope.
No?
Now I do. So Leah, I just did today's episode's topic was early mornings. That's why I explained to the people on the vlog while I get up at 4:30 in the morning. So some concluding words from you. Why do you think early mornings are good for you? Do you think getting up early is good, or are you more like a sleeping in person?
No. I prefer early mornings, but my early morning has shifted a bit from like 6:30 to 8 while studying. No, but I still feel, like 7. I think 7 is the perfect time for me to wake up. I feel like I have the whole day, and yeah, it actually feels more like 2 days
very true.
Yeah.
I think part of being a student is how to learn how to organize your time. I think the responsibility we have as students or as young people is to kind of try to figure out, or not to kind of, but to figure out a structure on how we want to kind of live our mornings, live our days, so we can live responsibly.
Yeah, that's true. But not only live responsibly, but also live in a way that satisfies you, because I think a lot of people aren't really satisfied with getting up late without realizing, and they just accept it as something you should do while you can. But that's not always true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the vlog for today.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Stay savage. Stay in
It's
school.
more important than staying in school.
Don't do drugs. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.